Okay, so we did questions 1 and 2 on the last video. Miss Gentry started reading question 3, but I was nervous about the time, so I'm just going to do question 3 on here. Okay, this one says that Stance made a large pizza and cut it into 16 equal slices. He ate 6 slices. Write an equation that shows 2 equivalent ways to determine how much pizza is left from Stance's pizza. Okay, there's a couple words in here we need to talk about. An equation. We're not going to learn about equations until next 6 weeks, but we know that an equation has to have an equal sign. So I'm just going to write an equal sign. And then the other word in here that means equal is the word equivalent. Show 2 equivalent ways to determine how much pizza is left from Stance's pizza. Okay, so he had 16 total slices and he ate 6 slices. The question says write an equation to show 2 equivalent ways to determine how much pizza is left. Okay? So if he had 16 pizzas and he ate 16 pieces and he ate 6, how much pizza is left? Well, that's 10 slices. So you have 10 slices left and you started out with how many slices? 16. So one way you could write it was 10 divided by 16 or 10 divided by 16. Okay? That's 2 equivalent ways to show how much pizza was left. That was pretty easy. Okay, question 4. Ava wants to run a total of 7 3/4 miles. Each lap around the track at Lubbock Cooper Middle School is 0.25 of a mile. How many laps around the track does Ava need to run in order to complete 7 3/4 miles? Okay, so like I've told you before, if you are confused about how you would solve this, take the fraction out. Okay, so Ava wants to run 7 miles. Each lap is worth 1 mile. How many laps would she need to run? Well, how would you figure that out? Well, you would divide. So just because it has fractions doesn't mean it should be any harder. The process is the same. So she wants to run 7 3/4 miles. And each lap is 25/100 of a mile. Okay? 25/100 can be written as 1/4, right? So what are you going to do? Are you going to multiply that or are you going to divide it? Well, you're going to divide it. First thing you have to do whenever you are multiplying or dividing fractions is do Texas check. Okay? So the 4 is going to stay the same. 7 times 4 is 28 plus 3, 31, divided by 1/4. When you are dividing fractions, what do you have to do? You have to keep it, change it, flip it. So what that means is you're going to keep the fraction exactly the same on the first fraction. So 31/4. Change the division sign to a multiplication sign, and then you are going to flip the second fraction to its reciprocal. Okay? The reciprocal is like the fraction just turned upside down. So this would become 4/1. Okay, now you're going to take your fingers and you're going to cover up. Do 31 and 1 have a common factor other than 1? No, and anytime you have a 1 in the numerator or the denominator, it's at its lowest. Okay? What about 4 and 4? Well, you can cross those out into 1s. Now, multiply straight across. 31 times 1 is 31. 1 times 1 is 1. So 31/1 tells me that she would have to walk 31 laps. Okay, on this problem we divided. Okay, be super careful. Which of the following is equivalent to 5/7 divided by 9/11? 5/7 divided by 9/11. Well, whenever you are dividing fractions, what do you have to do? Well, first step is you have to change it to an improper fraction if it's a mixed number. Well, both of these are already just regular fractions, so I don't have to do that step. Then you move on to the second step, which is keep it, change it, flip it. Now right here on this particular problem, is it actually asking you to solve it? No. So, this is what I like to call a freebie. All you're doing is following the process. Keep the first fraction, which is 5/7. Change the division sign to a multiplication sign. Flip the second fraction to its reciprocal, and it becomes 11/9. Now let's look at our answer choices. A says 11/9 times 5/7. That is not the exact same thing as that. Okay? 7/5, they flipped the first one. No, thank you. Right here, 5/7 times 11/9, maybe. 9/11, they flipped it. They didn't flip it and switch the sign. So what's the only answer choice that works? C. Now, did I have to answer it? No. Could I? Do I want to? No, but I will. 5 times 11 is 55. 7 times 9 is 63. I don't think that can be simplified, so we're going to go with that. All right. Problem number 6. Okay, go back to 5. On 5, this is what I call a freebie. Do not miss this. This is a baby one. Okay, this is a baby problem. Do not miss it. It's a give me. Problem number 6. Problem number 6 is a whole lot like problem number 3. Madison is having a cheerleading recruitment party at her house. She wants to share 9 pizzas with 54 guests equally. Show 2 equivalent ways to determine how much pizza each person will get. Show 2 equivalent ways. Okay, so we are going to have 9 pizzas and we're going to split it up amongst 54 guests. Show 2 equivalent ways to determine how much each pizza each guest will get. It's not asking you to solve it. It's just telling you to show 2 equivalent ways. Well, what do we have? We have 9 pizzas. And we're dividing those 9 pizzas by how many people? 54. So it's 9 divided by 54. Or 9 divided by 54. Now it looks weird. Okay? Like most people think you want to take the 54 guests and divide it by the 9 pizzas. No, you want the 9 pizzas split up amongst 54 people. Well, the way you do that is you would divide. Anytime that you are trying to split something up or share it, the word share right here, and the word split tells you to divide. Okay? Okay, number 7 says, Johnny bought an electric guitar for $215. He later sold the guitar for 7/8 of the price he originally paid for it. Which of the following statements is true? Okay, if you will look back on problem number 2, we wrote a couple of notes. It says anytime you multiply by a fraction less than 1, your value what? Decreases. So he bought a guitar and then he sold it for 7/8 of the price. So is he selling it for less or for more? Well, let's think about that. Is 7/8 a whole number? No. Is 7/8 a fraction more than 1? No. Is 7/8 a fraction less than 1? Yes. So if I am multiplying $215 times 7/8, I am multiplying by a fraction less than 1. That means that my value is going to decrease. Multiplying by something less than 1, value decreases. If you need to write that down. When you multiply by a value less than 1, your answer or value decreases. Is 7/8 less than 1? Yes. So did he make more money or less money? Well, less money. So let's see. Johnny sold the guitar for 7 times $215. No. That would mean he would be making 7 times $215. He didn't even get back the price that he sold it for. So that's not going to work. What about for 8 times? No. All that took the numbers in the problem and tried to trick you. We're not going to be tricked like that. Johnny sold the guitar for slightly less than $215. Now, didn't we just talk about when you multiply by a value less than 1, your answer or value decreases? So that could be my answer choice. Johnny sold the guitar for slightly more than $215. He's not making any more money. He's not even making what he paid. So my answer is C.